Is Klukai a Yandere? This has been a question that I've been asked multiple times, as well as seeing multiple fan arts and depictions of her as a Yandere. This often comes about because of some of her voice lines and actions, especially from the first game, that can seem very possessive and intense, traits that are often seen within Yanderes. The one particular line that commanders like to point to, which is her line, "I am all you need," which people often think this is her saying that we don't need any other doll, as well as her being perfect. But is she truly a Yandere, or is there more to her? In order to determine this, let's first go over what a Yandere is very briefly. The term Yandere is a portmanteau of two different parts, one being Yanderu, meaning sick, and Dere, meaning love-struck. So together, it basically means somebody who is lovesick. They typically are a bit mentally unstable, and are often driven to the point of insanity due to an extreme obsession with their love interest, and are often incredibly violent. The prime example of this being Yuno Gasai from Marenaiki. Now, going back to 416, does she meet these traits? At first value, this could seem to be the case, given her voice lines seemingly very obsessive, and her saying that "I am all you need" line, as well as how skilled she is as a soldier, that she would dispose of any other doll that gets in between her and her commander. To get a better understanding of her character, we first have to talk about her origins. 416 was created with an elite batch of T-dolls, at the time being known as HKM4. There are only a very few dolls that are able to be classified as elite, so being considered an elite doll herself, she takes extreme pride in this, and it's one of the reasons as to why she always talks so highly about her abilities. However, this also runs even deeper for her. Due to her combat capabilities, she was promoted to serving as an adjutant to a Griffin commander, and she valued this role greatly. Due to her exceptional performance, she was loaned out to another company, this being State Security or StateSec. Here, she met another doll of the AR platform, being M16, who is an old veteran within StateSec. M16 took 416 under her wing, training her to be an even stronger doll, and 416 becoming very fond of M16. However, later on, M16's intuition tells her that there is something very wrong about the upcoming operation, deemed Operation Butterfly. M16 knows 416 has a very strong sense of justice, and if M16 tried to tell her this, she would have made sure that she was part of that operation no matter what, which would have been the worst case scenario for M16. So, M16 used the feud that was happening between 416 and UMP-45 as grounds for getting her expelled from the squad and having her fire control core removed. She did this in order to ensure that 416 would survive, as M16 did have faith in her skills. However, to 416, this was a great humiliation to her, and she perceived that M16 was calling her too weak and unprofessional. This act completely shattered her pride and broke her soul. She also saw this as being abandoned by both her as well as Griffin. This, along with the fact that she was supposed to have a perfect life within Griffin, but instead has to live as an outlaw under the ruthless UMP-45 within 404, it leaves her incredibly jaded and bitter. All that being said, how does this play into the question of whether 416 is a Yandere or not? Well, looking at her past, we can determine whether the claim holds true. Let's first break down that infamous line of "I am all you need," which comes from having 416. For acquiring dolls, just know that it's not canon for the commander to be able to actually have 416 amongst their forces. Take AK-15 for example. She states in the main story that she would rather be dead than to serve another commander than the one that she already has. Yet, if we acquire AK-15 from the gacha, she states that she will always follow our command. Despite this inconsistency, however, the voice lines that dolls have are actually an excellent look into their thoughts and personality. First things first, it is important to note that unlike most T-dolls, which are really just civilian dolls that are given weapons, 416 was created for the specific purpose of being a soldier. Because of this, her communication skills are not the greatest. She doesn't really know how to properly articulate her thoughts and feelings in a social setting. This normally isn't a problem when she's in a more professional setting or on missions where she can quickly and efficiently give out orders and essential information. However, in a social environment, her choice of words can often lead to many misunderstandings, as she wasn't programmed with this in mind. So she's kind of a dork. This is why 416 is very stoic and aloof, usually refraining from taking part in any social gathering, such as within her Starry Cocoon story, where she only attends the party because the commander asked her to. And even there, anyone else besides the commander who tries to approach her is immediately met with her piercing eyes and intimidating gaze. So, her infamous line is no exception to this. The line actually means something far deeper than what it is commonly interpreted as. To figure out the true meaning, it's broken down into two different parts. One part was what we just discussed with the whole bad social thing, and the other part is about her past. If we take what happened to her with M16 and her feelings about that situation, we can actually see what this line truly means. Please don't abandon me, I'm strong enough. She has abandonment issues after what happened to her, which is shown in GFL 2 when she says that she sent messages for the commander for the past 10 years, and then cried when she confronted the commander about this, with that he never responded to any of the messages that she had sent him. This could be seen as an obsessive behavior from Klukai, but truly she just doesn't want to be abandoned again by someone that she truly cares about. Going further, for her lines about her being perfect, it not only comes from her pride being one of the few elite dolls, but it also comes from her trying to say that she is strong enough and worthy to stay by our side. So, with all that considered, is 416, Klukai, a Yandere? No, not at all. She does care about the commander a lot, but she isn't obsessive or lovesick. She just doesn't want to be abandoned again. But she's too dorky to just be able to say that outright. However, in Project Neurocloud, one of Micah's other games, we do actually see a Yandere 416 when she was infected by a virus in this simulated world. And it was scary, to say the least. So, if you would like to see what an actual Yandere 416 was like, you can check that out in the story Divergent Shadows within PNC. With all that being said, happy 416, Commanders. Make sure to show our lonely and dorky Klusan all the love that she deserves. I hope you all enjoyed this video and found it interesting. I want to be able to do more of these character breakdown videos in the future to help explain their behaviors alongside some of my guide and lore videos. As always, I hope to see you on the front line, Commander.